So I'm going to pick back up where I left off. Natural consequences is consequence number 3. Sometimes it's best to let children experience the natural consequences of their behavior. An example of a natural consequence is if your child refuses to put on a coat, they might be cold outside. If your child doesn't eat, they might be hungry later. If your child doesn't complete their homework, they might have failed the assignment the next day. If your child breaks a rule on the sporting field, they might get sent off the sporting field. And that often comes with embarrassment. And that is the natural consequence for your child's actions and what they've chosen. And I'll just make a note that even though a lot of times children do face natural consequences, whether we're as parents around or not, you can always adjust it and make sure that we're not encouraging a dangerous or an antisocial behavior where they're so embarrassed they're running away and hiding, things like that. So, related consequences. A related consequence is when you impose a consequence that's related to the behavior you want to discourage. So, if your child is being silly and spills their drink, they automatically have to clean that up. And we do not move from the table until they've cleaned it up. It's a related consequence to the action that they've chosen. If your child leaves their bike in the driveway and they run in to get something and, that's not what you've expected them to do, they know to put it on the side of the driveway, then they no longer get to play with the bike, explain the reasons why, and the bike gets put away. If the children are fighting over one toy, that toy can be put away, and that's directly related to their actions. So 2 other types of consequences are quiet time and loss of privilege. So quiet time / timeout, however you want to word it, is when you take the child away from the activity that they're doing when they're misbehaving. So that period of time that you'd remove them is up to you. A recommended 5 to 10 minutes is good for children aged 3 to 6 years. They already understand what they've done and why they're being removed from the situation at that age, and it gives them time to calm down and think about their actions. You can encourage them to while they're being removed in that quiet time. This is why we are putting you over here separately, and please think about what you've just done. Loss of privilege is taking away their favorite toy, object, phone, whatever it is for a while because they've had unacceptable behavior. And this is usually reserved for children ages 6 and older because they have something at that point that they really like in life. And that is your responsibility to take away their privileges at that point, to have this line of behavior versus, misbehavior. So 10 healthy discipline strategies that work. The first one is show and tell. So if you are acting a certain way, most likely your child is going to act similarly. And so if they are not sure how to handle a situation and use maybe some angry words towards a sibling, you can model behavior in which you reenact the situation and use kind words towards that sibling and demonstrate for your child how they should react. You can set limits. So, of course, we've talked about rules. We'll talk about them more times over the next few weeks in these videos. But set limits and be consistent with those limits daily. Be consistent between people watching those kids. Be consistent with their consequences. Hear the child out. Listening is important. Misbehaviors, while most of the times they're directly related to the child wanting or seeking attention, they might have another reason for acting out, and we always want to give them a chance to express that and then use our, wisdom and knowledge to, explain, okay, that came from the feeling of jealousy. And so when we feel jealous, instead of acting out and throwing an outburst, we can do this instead. Or if the child is simply not wanting to do something and is refusing, it is up to you to pursue that activity or to give it up and let the child win, so to speak, in that situation. So the next is reinforcing good behaviors, discouraging others. You can do that by a reward chart, a good action chart, maybe recognizing the good behavior when they are being good. Look out for that. Wow, you did a good job putting that toy away. Wow, you did a great job cleaning up the table. Being prepared for trouble. We already talked about this, but it's another great recommendation to plan on your child misbehaving daily, multiple times a day, and prepare in different activities and settings. So grocery store, soccer field, car, you might have a really long car ride coming up. That makes everybody in a mood sometimes. So just make sure you're ready for those situations ahead of time and you know your boundaries. You might even write them down. And the last one is calling a timeout. So a timeout can be great for everyone at any time in any situation. So if you are at the grocery store with your child and they become frustrated or angry and they start acting out, you might have a timer on your phone and you just ask them, okay, until this timer goes off, you're going to be quiet. You're going to, walk next to me, hold my hand, and not say anything until this timer goes off. Think about what you've done. And just make the best of every situation, of course. We always encourage parents to know their child's love languages and focus on what their child needs to feel that they are loved at the end of the day too. So that is it for now, and if you have more questions, you can check out an article that I will post under this video. Thank you.